What's up YouTube, Silver Dragons here, and in this video I want to talk about gold and silver and sort of ponder the question, what if we got it wrong? Thank you so much for watching my video. I do sincerely appreciate it. If you want to learn more about investing in precious metals, or if you just want to watch awesome videos about gold and silver, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, what do I mean by what if we got it wrong with gold and silver? Well, I mean, what if gold and silver proved to be a terrible place to store your wealth? What if the value actually is not maintained over a period of time? What if you actually lose a considerable amount of your wealth because you invested in gold and silver?
There's nothing here but worthless gold, and it's all yours. No!
For thousands and thousands of years, gold and silver have been used as money, but what if that changes? What if the whole world suddenly decides gold and silver are not worth anything? Well, I suppose those of us who have bought large amounts of gold and silver would be like those people who bought tons of Beanie Babies thinking the value would just go up forever, and then they realized they actually weren't worth very much. But actually, it would be a lot worse than that, because it wouldn't be just individuals who thought they had all of this wealth and then suddenly it was gone, but also banks. I mean, think about it. Central banks buy and hold large amounts of gold. This is a tier 1 asset. It's on their balance sheet. So if gold and silver were all of a sudden just worthless, I mean, this would be chaos. Now, there was a point in time almost 100 years ago where gold was illegal to own in the USA, but this did not mean that gold had no value. In fact, quite the contrary. Gold had an incredible amount of value, and that's why the government made it illegal to own, because they wanted it all to themselves. In fact, for basically all of recorded human history, gold and silver have had value. So what would it take for them to lose their value and become worthless? Well, basically everyone would have to agree that they no longer have value. This would be individuals and nations alike. It would have to be more than just one country deciding that gold and silver no longer have value. Everyone would need to agree on it. But in reality, this would never happen because, again, central banks hold gold. Gold and silver are real money. They always have been real money, and I can't even think of a scenario in which they would be worthless. I guess if we want to get into science fiction, we probably could come up with maybe one or two scenarios where gold and silver actually did lose all of their value. Let's say, for example, there is a huge fireball that hits Earth, and there's only a small amount of people alive, and they're struggling just to find food and rebuild civilization. There might be a very short period of time where they're actually not worried about using any sort of currency at all. Gold, silver, dollars, crypto, it's all completely worthless because they're just struggling to survive. I mean, they need food, water, shelter, that kind of stuff. So yeah, maybe for a short period of time, they wouldn't use gold and silver as money, but eventually, once civilization was rebuilt, they would have to use something as money. And what better than an element that exists on Earth that is limited in quantity to use as money? But let's be honest, if a giant fireball hits us, then you're going to have bigger problems than your stack of gold and silver not having value for a few months or a few years while everyone is just bartering for what they need. So in my opinion, as long as humans are alive on Earth, gold and silver are always going to have value. I think it's just fantasy that they would ever go to zero. But that being said, let's take a look at how they have performed over the last 20 years. Here we are over at sdbullion.com, and by the way, they are giving away 500 American Silver Eagles absolutely free. That's 500 ounces of silver. All you got to do to enter the giveaway is just click the link down below in the description of this video. So best of luck to all of you. But let's take a look at the price of silver over the last 20 years. So we got to go back to 2002, and it was right around $4 or $5 an ounce. So, I mean, it would be really nice to be buying silver for $5 an ounce, but currently it's over $21 an ounce. So, I mean, we're talking, you know, a 4 or 5x over the last 20 years. And I know some people are thinking, wow, I could have done better if I put my money in other places rather than just putting it in silver. But the thing is, with silver and gold, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a place to store your wealth because you know it's going to be protected. And if we look at gold, gold actually has done a little bit better than silver over the last 20 years. So let's go back to, I guess, July. It was around $320 an ounce, $318 on the chart right here. And now it's worth over $1,800 an ounce. So, you know, that's at least a 5x gain there. I guess probably closer to 6x. So, yeah, that's really not too bad. I mean, 6 times your money. If you put your money in gold right now and it goes 6x over the next 20 years, I mean, then you're looking at around $10,000 gold, you know, and with silver, if that goes 5x, you're looking at $100 silver in 20 years from now. So with everything that's going on in the world, though, I feel like it probably won't take us 20 years to get there. I mean, you could be looking at 5 or 10 years. So really, I honestly think precious metals are on sale right now, and you should be buying them as much as you can. I find it really interesting to think about gold and silver becoming worthless, because once you realize that that's not really a possibility, you start to think about the other things that you've invested in that could become worthless. I mean, cryptocurrencies, absolutely those could become worthless. I mean, Bitcoin is already down 70% since its highs. What about stocks? Stocks become worthless all the time, you know. You invest in the wrong stock, it goes to zero, you just lost all your money. What about the dollar? Eventually this will go to zero and it will be worthless. Same with government bonds. Basically everything can go to zero and probably will at some point, but gold and silver have stood the test of time for thousands of years. They've always been money, and they always will be money. So instead of asking the question, what if we got it wrong with gold and silver, perhaps you should be asking a different question entirely. Perhaps you should be asking, what if we got it wrong with everything else? I want to know your thoughts on gold and silver. Will they ever become worthless? Can you think of a scenario in which gold and silver have no value at all? Feel free to leave those comments down below in the comment section. Also, I do want to say a massive thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Silver Dragons out.